Are there wild animals in your country? Uh, Definitely. In fact, Vietnam is famous for housing some of the most unique, exotic, and rare species in all of Asia, thanks to our tropical climate. Animals, especially in grassland and forest habitat, has a lot of chance to grow and thrive. Some of the rare animal can are like Indian elephant or flying squirrel. However, I don't think they're in a good hand at the moment. There are still a lot of illegal poachers and you know deforestation going on in Vietnam. So I hope in the future the government and the people can, you know, make effort to, preserve and protect these animals better. Have you ever been to a zoo or a safari park? Uh, well, yeah, I have been to both, and especially safari. I've been to like free safari, and the safari really changed my whole view about wild animals, because prior to my first visit to a local safari in Singapore, I have seen animals in the zoo and the circuses, and they all of them looks very skinny and frail and malnourished. So for a healthy amount of time, I thought that is how they looks in that's how they supposed to look in the wild. But when I visit the safari, I see that they actually had a chance to live in their somewhat similar natural habitat, and they have the adequate diet, and eating things that they actually eat, and having time to sunbath and you know join in social activities with their own kind instead of living in an iron cage. So they just look so different that only then I realized, how they look, and yeah. I hope that I can visit another safari in the future. What is the animal you would like to see in the wild? Well, I gotta be honest. Uh, One of the things in my bucket list is seeing a capybara in the wild. Now, capybara is well, some people consider them fishes, although they all kind of like resemble mammals. They they are kind of like a big aquatic mouse. The things I like about them most is that they are especially chill, friendly, and adorable. And it just sparked my interest in them when I saw a clip, an online clip of a capybara riding on the top of a crocodiles. It just looks so. It just feels, I just it just feels intriguing because I mean it almost feels like they have zero survival instincts, and yet they are apparently pretty common in some area in the world. So definitely, I would like to meet them in the flesh in the future, in the near future, in fact. Are there TV programs about wild animals in your country? Well, as far as I know, there isn't any TV program that are dedicated to document wild animals in my country. Perhaps maybe for the lack of interest that there is in this kind of subject. However, they some from time to time the national news does cover some information about wild animals. So that's probably one of the only reliable source of wild animals most Vietnamese can get. But there are still alternatives such as like some foreign program like National Geography, which does actually dedicate to wild animals. So yeah, there's that. Do you often feel bored? Why not? Uh, well, that's a pretty hard question, but I'll say from time to time, not always though, because I always find some things to do, maybe learning new skill like cooking or boxing. I also have some hobbies like painting miniatures. So there are a lot of things to do, including like the main task in a day. However, like in a holiday and in the summer, I do feel bored sometimes because there's less stress and there's less objective to you know there are less there isn't any assignment, so there are less objective for me to complete. You know, did you ever find school boring when you were a child? Uh, yeah. In fact, I mean, still to this day, I still find the school activities very boring. The exams or the lessons lecture we learn, it's just feels abundant a lot of times and very tedious. But I do get that they are important for our future. And so even if they are very dull and boring and repetitive, it's still a mandatory work to build our future. So yeah. What sort of things do you find most boring now? Uh, this might sound weird, but honestly, uh, talking to people, especially as a student, like not like talking to people outside, I feel bored, but constantly meeting like people in the school and interact with them, stuff like that. It just feel boring for some reason. The only like way I can the only reason I can think of is that uh you know as I grow as I grow up, I just have a smaller social circle, and to seeing the same faces that talk about the same thing while not actually not really grasp an understanding of them. Yeah, things like that makes me feel like every day going to school and meeting the exact same people who I don't really have any interest on is pretty tedious. So yeah. What do you do to stop yourself feeling bored? I mean, there's a lot of things. I have a lot of hobbies, and what I like to do is sometimes like I like to painting tiny plastic models, right? And when I have a thing is that when I do something, not really like, but like when I feel bored, right, I can just pick pick my model up and paint them. It just feels like a good way to kill the time, you know. And I also like to doing sports, especially like boxing. So what I can do is I can do shadow boxing. Just imagine there's an opponent in front of me, and I can start practicing my move and polishing it, and making small progress. And those small progress give me a gives me a sense of enjoyment, a sense of accomplishment, and it sort of act as a distraction to my boredom. So yeah, there are a lot of things you can do, especially when you feel bored, you can just uh, do whatever you like, doing your hobbies and let your imagination do the work, kind of like escaping the reality in some way. So yeah.